Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, breaking news. Breaking news. Woo! Binance is in very deep shit. And we just actually found this out at the time of this recording, the day before Thanksgiving, on what's really popping off. And I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. CoffeeZilla for actually delivering the information here. Let's go see what homeboy has to say. Juicy.
Binance agrees to pay $4.3 billion, and their CEO has pled guilty to violating money laundering rules and has stepped down, claiming, quote, "I make mistakes and I must take responsibility." Now, in exchange for a king's ransom and the king's head, the DOJ is expected to settle their criminal investigation with Binance. Some think this is the end for the world's largest crypto exchange. Others believe it's a glorified speeding ticket that's a net win for crypto. But what should you believe? It depends on how much you trust Binance. Let me explain. First, context. For the past year, there's been criminal and civil investigations into Binance, with the SEC, DOJ, and CFTC all investigating accusations of Binance accepting US investors while not being regulated, and then trying to hide that fact. Why would they do that? Well, according to their CEO, Changpeng Zhao, who I'll be calling CZ, quote, "If we blocked US users from day one, Binance will not be as big as we are today. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission." So, money is the answer to why they did something illegal. It's always the answer.
Juicy!
This is because, as CZ claims, 20 to 30% of Binance's potential revenue was from the US market. So, no wonder they kept US investors. But after years of no control, CZ eventually acknowledged the risk of allowing US customers. He says, quote, "We do need to block by IP and also know your customer." Now, this might seem like a step in the right direction, except for a critical decision. CZ maintained a subset of valuable US users on Binance.
And I'm going to make a quick pause here. I want to actually try to give out a personal story of mine. Because this was around early this year. Actually, this was like around a year ago. I was attending a BitDevs meeting up in New York City, and I met this entrepreneur who understood the nature of the cryptocurrency business, and he was basically discussing to me about the situations that's been going on with Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, and Changpeng Zhao, CZ, basically who is the founder of, respectively, FTX and Binance, okay? And basically he actually gave out some game in regards to the stark difference between those two companies. And with Sam Bankman-Fried was clearly defrauding investors and also evading regulations, was Binance here, CZ, was actually have been evading regulators in the United States, but have not defrauded investors, and still actually was giving money down to its investors and to the people. That's why he's yet to be filed with similar charges at this time. Whereas SBF, we know he's already been found guilty on virtually all counts, and he's facing a very steep prison sentence, to the point where his life could literally be thrown away just like this. So let's continue on with the story.
They kicked off the broke people to look good, but conspired to keep their high-value clients, quote, contacting US VIP users offline.
God damn, that is sick. Juicy! Beyond sick.
Through direct phone calls, leaving no trace. The VIP team would allegedly register a new separate account for an offshore entity while the user transferred their holdings to the new account. So it would look like that person was no longer from the US. According to CZ himself, the company had to be very careful to skirt the line using careful language. Quote, "We cannot say they are US users, and we want to help them. We say we miscategorize them as US users, but actually they are not."
And you wonder why the SEC is literally up on Binance's ass, even though, he technically hadn't really defrauded the investors. They manipulated them in a way, basically on like where those users' locations are, and that's what got them fooled. And it's a lot of deep shit that's going on in Binance as well.
So that's bad, but it actually gets worse. See, the new filing from the DOJ shows these problems extended beyond the US, to Binance outright allowing money launderers to move money through their platform. One compliance employee even wrote, quote, "We need a banner. Is washing drug money too hard these days? Come to Binance. We got cake for you." What? An example of this was when Hydra, a popular Russian darknet marketplace, transferred $106 million in Bitcoin to Binance.com and laundered their money through it. But not only did Binance have little to no money laundering controls in place, even when illegal funds were found, Binance would make special exceptions for their VIPs. In one example, a user was told to be careful with his flow of funds, especially from darknet like Hydra. He can come back with a new account, but this current one has to go, it's tainted. But what is the point of flagging money laundering if you're just gonna tell the guy to start a new account and try harder next time to not get caught? And I bring these issues up not just...
Tickets going home to roost. What's coming to the dark will come to light, because governments all across the world will always trace your shit. They will always trace your finances and your transactions back to the source. It definitely will take time, but eventually they will get there.
Because they're pertinent to the settlement, which they are, but also because these issues demonstrate a problem Binance might have moving forward. Setting aside for a moment this $4.3 billion fine, part of this agreement is the expectation Binance is gonna stop these illegal activities, clean up their act, have an independent compliance monitor for 3 years. But you have to ask yourself, was Binance so large and attractive to crypto people in spite of its loose money laundering controls, offshore, unregulated status, or was it because of it? What percentage of Binance's revenue vanishes overnight with increased scrutiny? I don't know the answer, but it certainly isn't zero. And speaking of challenges Binance faces, now let's put the $4.3 billion fine back on the table, which itself is a problem. Can Binance afford to pay it without dipping into customers' funds and becoming insolvent? Well, once again, it depends on how much you believe Binance. See, Binance regularly publishes a proof of reserves.
Oh, wow. That's some crazy shit.
Juicy!
And they do this to actually provide transparency. But now, how you going to try and pay all that stuff off without, defrauding those investors and actually going criminal? Just like with Sam Bankman-Fried, and you don't want to try and make the same mistakes, because yes, you could have all this advanced technology and have this advanced STEM degree, but when it comes to insider trading, it's a whole different ball game down to the T.
Which shows they have customer assets backed 1-to-1 and billions of dollars on top of it. According to those, yeah, it's a drop in the bucket. But proof of reserves don't fully show liabilities, causing people to call for a full audit for years now. But each time, it's met with a less than satisfactory response from their CEO.
Thus far, you haven't disclosed your liabilities, and I wonder why that is and whether you will.
Yeah, so we are working with the firms to do the audit of financials, liabilities, etc. But the audits don't reveal every problem. So
No, but
And no, it's supposed to reveal every problem. That is the point. How are you supposed to know that? That is the point of what an audit is. It requires thorough transparency, and I'm trying to dig what your financial transactions are and how you're able to mainly get them. How you're able to actually be transparent with the customer and or investor. That's what audits are originally supposed to be designed. Why you capping, dog? Why the fuck you capping?
an audit from a Big
firms
Four
that are
auditor
kind of-
would reveal that, CZ. If you could get...
There we go. There we go. Arrogance. Hubris and arrogance. Ego, hubris, denial, arrogance. And I believe I may have played this clip up there a while ago, but I remember this very, very, very well.
a Big Four auditor to say that. If you're saying that some of them don't want to work with you, that raises questions too.
There the fuck
If
we
they
go.
don't want to work with you because you don't have the files and the data that would make them feel comfortable signing off and giving that stamp of approval?
Actually, many of them don't even know how to audit.
Huh? You talking about professional auditors from like Big Four credits from like the Securities and Exchange and Commission, according to you, CZ, those auditors don't even know how to audit properly? Huh? Nah, something is up, man. Like, something is up with this dude. He definitely hiding something. He definitely afraid. You know what I'm saying? Because if he really was that comfortable, they let him up in his house and they know that he ain't done nothing wrong because he truly cares about the people and actually he's going by regulatory laws up by global standards, up by United States standards. But because he's not doing that, this is why he's acting the way he's acting at that time, and definitely today. And you wonder why CZ is currently stepping down from Binance and resigning from Binance.
So exchanges, they don't really when they audit, they're very used to auditing a firm.
Does Coinbase see?
Binance is a firm, you idiots. Yo, what a fucking man! This fucking
Coinbase has a big four. Coinbase
yeah.
Is a big four auditor.
Oh
actually, I don't look at.
Oh
we don't
my
really look at
fucking god!
Now hold on, wait a second.
Hold up.
You're saying you can't get an audit, but then refuse to acknowledge that your competitors are working with auditors?
Yo, you see the hypocrisy right there? Oh my god, you see the fucking hypocrisy right there? Let's continue.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear. Look, we just don't know the full story.
Right.
And I don't bring this up like as a boogeyman to scare you for no reason, telling you there's a monster under your bed, maybe. You know, it's something you legitimately need to think about if you have money on Binance. How much do you trust Binance is telling the truth and trust them with your money?
I don't.
It's ultimately up to you. For me, I've always told you guys, keep your money off these exchanges because what you don't know can hurt you. Just listen to Binance's CEO answer questions about his company's ability to pay steep fines earlier this year and ask yourself, does he sound confident?
Would you be able to handle it if somebody asked you for $2.1 billion back? Would that be okay? Would you be able to still withstand things?
We're financially okay.
Including you have $2.1
Yo,
billion
look at the body
to give
language
away.
of
If
this
somebody
dude,
came
man.
to
He
claw
is
that
spooks.
back, you'd still be fine?
We'll let the lawyers handle it. We are financially strong.
Honestly.
But look at the bond. Look at how tense he is up in that clip, man. Juicy. I wouldn't even do business with Binance. I wouldn't even put my money up in that company at all. Me personally, I would not even put my hands on someone that actually tries to run cryptocurrency like that. Because you know how volatile cryptocurrency is. Oh my god, this fool.
The right answer is yes.
Yes.
We're
Common
financially
sense.
strong is just not
Crap.
enough. It's literally one of those answers that means nothing.
Nothing.
And by the way, the real fine is double that. So especially in light of that large layoffs at the company earlier this year, I'm personally not optimistic about Binance's future. Although, as I said, without a more detailed look at their finances, maybe from an auditor, we can't know for sure. But whether or not you're personally optimistic or pessimistic, I think there's one thing we can all come together and learn from on this story. Questions, concern, skepticism of a company, it's not FUD, it's basic due diligence, and the crypto industry has a troubling trend of pretending otherwise. Earlier this year, CZ started dismissing FUD, fake news, attacks, with the number 4. Like, he would just post pictures of himself whenever there were problems at Binance and just do this as if it met.
What the fuck does a guy be doing with your damn situation? Juicy. Man.
Magically warded off problems. So to see that same guy less than 12 months later pleading guilty to charges, it has a level of embarrassment that I've almost never seen before. I say almost because technically I saw this piece of media on the most humble billionaire the day before that, from the same guy who also made the Sam Bankman-Fried puff piece. And it's definitely worse than this. So as we put CZ on
Juicy
on the wall of shame, joining many other crypto people, I want to leave you with this wonderful piece of cringe. And as always, thanks for watching.
Oh man, we done with that motherfucker right there. But I want to give a huge shout out to CoffeeZilla in regards to this clip. I fully thank him thoroughly in regards to that. This company, the way this is going, in my opinion, this company is not gonna go anywhere. I don't know if they're gonna try to recover 10, 20 years from now, because this is not stocks and bonds and all the RITs. This is something that's extremely volatile. How you be able to try and get yourself bounced back doing all this crypto stuff? Well, you're not fully certain where the whole thing gonna land. You know what I'm saying? Why would I, an average Joe of an investor, want to put my money in some dude that doesn't really, I'm not saying you gotta be like a super expert up in crypto or anything like that. I'm not saying you have to be that way. Let me be very clear. But why would I put faith in someone that hasn't really done that much studying, that hadn't really done that much due diligence on how the Securities and Exchange Commission mainly runs? Not just, I understand he has a computer science background, which could definitely help, which actually deals with modeling and everything and forecasting, but forecasting is a whole nother different animal. You cannot anticipate handling these types of deals and handling these types of moves, because these types of cryptocurrencies can literally fluctuate minute by minute, and you don't know if they're going to literally spike or probably drop down way worse than before. It is hard to literally predict those things. You deal with like a probability method of where it's going to move, which could be like a very, very high rate of failure, which is why you need to literally try to spend some time dealing with insider traders for a bit before actually trying to get your game up when it comes to like all these cryptocurrency services. Insider trading when it comes to cryptocurrency is extremely difficult. Even if you have an advanced degree, even if you have a STEM degree, a graduate degree when it comes to a STEM field, whether it's a master's or a PhD, it is still difficult because you can't fully predict how the market's going to move. You can't fully predict how well that type of crypto coin is going to move. It is really tough to really try to match that out. You know what I'm saying? And for those that really want to pull your money away from Binance because of that, I do not blame you one bit. And if they actually have their stocks jump down due to the fear, well, there the fuck you go. Right there. You know what I mean? And I'm going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to really say much. This is, again, some very deep breaking news on this whole matter. Shout out to CoffeeZilla in regards to this whole ordeal. And I will be signing out. Y'all have a good one. Deuces.